Thank you for listening to Life Improvement Radio. You are listening to a rebroadcast of a previously recorded show.
This is Eric Rummel with Life Improvement Radio, recording live at the 2011 Miami International Book Fair. And right now I'm interviewing Jeff Lindsay, the author of Double Dexter, and as most commonly everybody knows, the Dexter series on television. And Jeff, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get your start?
As soon as I figured out that you could put letters together to make words, I've been doing it.
Started with crayon?
No, I insisted on the number 2 right away, number 2 pencil. I was first published in an anthology, a hardcover anthology of children's poems when I was 6. Wow. And I had, I think, 3 poems in there. And I wrote my first novel about the same time. There was a girl, she was in Michigan and I was in Florida, so I write her a chapter every week and mail it off to her in the hopes that, someday she might give me a little kiss on the cheek or something. And that didn't work out. But somehow you don't lose the illusion that if you keep writing things, it'll help you with girls. It never has. I don't know.
So what you're saying is nerds, they don't get any respect from the ladies?
No, I'm not a nerd. I'm a geek, and it's a very important difference.
That's true. See, I started as an engineer, it was electronics, so I can relate to the geek thing. Yeah, it's nerd, See, I'm on the other side of the spectrum here. So this is, I believe, your 5th book in the series?
6.
So it's your 6th book in the series. Tell me a bit more about where it started. So what you started with the first of the series and kind of how it's transitioned through your series here.
At the start, it was just an idea. It was going to be one book about a sympathetic serial killer. Just sort of, see if I could make this guy likable and tell an interesting story. And then move on to, writing pirate books or something. And it took off, like we say, like an infield fly, which astonished me. I wasn't just surprised, I was astonished. Because what does it say about people that so many of them find this character attractive? Not just interesting to read, but I want to take him home with me attractive. It's a little bit disturbing.
I think we're all a little disturbed, that whole new series of reality TV and drama, and this is what Americans like now. I think that's why they can associate with the book so well. Mm-hmm. So you currently reside in South Florida. Are you from this area originally?
Yeah, I grew up in Miami. I now live over in the west coast of Florida. It's just a little quieter, which I need. So.
I would imagine for writing all these novels, you need a lot of quiet time. What would you say would probably be the most overwhelming success out of all the series, out of the 6 books?
Well, the biggest seller is the first one, and I think it's probably the best, Darkly Dreaming Dexter. That's the one that the TV show is based on. They're all a success if I finish them and haven't killed myself. So Dexter is Delicious, which was number 5. I thought of the title, I thought Dexter is Delicious. And I started chuckling, and what would that be? What would the story be? And well, cannibals, obviously. And I started writing, and I was done in 2 months. It was like I woke up every day with a song on my lips and a smile in my heart. And the book was done, and I had a wonderful time. This one, Double Dexter, was an entire year of agony. And I rewrote it 24 times. I moved the first chapter to the middle and the middle chapter to the end, and endlessly. I threw away over 350 pages of stuff. And I hate throwing away 3 words strung together. It's like ripping your teeth out. So this one was horrible. And it was finally a matter I had to send it in to the editor or just admit defeat and shoot myself. And I sent it in, and he called back the next day. This is the best one yet. Oh, God, I love it. And I go, yeah, right, sure. But then the reviews started saying the same thing, so you never know.
Well, I really think that's some good advice for any potential authors that might be listening to this, or anybody who's currently writing books or a novelist. Me personally, I've tried to write a book several times and just can't put my words together. So would you say it's frustrating writing a book or being an author?
Oh, it beats the hell out of stocking the shelves at Walmart, which is the only other thing I'm qualified for. I don't know. I always go back to the Dorothy Parker quote. Someone said, "Do you like writing? Do you like being a writer?" She said, "I loathe writing. I love having written." And that's the truth. At the end of the day, if I've got my pages, I feel great. If I don't have my pages, I go kick the dog and yell at the kids. And so far, I haven't gotten that reversed, which is good.
That's a good one, yeah. I was going to ask, did you have any personal motivation? You don't have any serial killers in the family or anything else that motivated you to write the books?
No, nothing like that. It was just something that it seemed so alien to me. I wanted to understand it. And I started reading up and studying the whole thing. Sadly for me, I began to understand it a little. I can slip into it like an actor going into a character. I haven't been caught yet, though, so...
That's good. See, then you're already ahead of the game.
Right.
Let me ask you, how much research goes into some of this? Because like you said, it's a subject that's foreign to you, you want to understand. Do you do a lot of research on serial killers, or do a lot of research when you're prepping for one of the novels?
Writing the first book, I did a ton of research on serial killers and the psychology of it, and coming to understand the psychopathic personality, and then the homicidal psychopathic personality, and what drives them and where they come from and how it can happen. Other than that, nowadays, I don't need to research that part. I mean, I keep updated on it. There are changes coming from brain mapping now and how we understand psychopaths. But if I do a crime scene, I have good friends who do forensics, so I get the petty details and what it says on the label and that kind of thing.
Very interesting. So do you have any future novels in the works? You working on any new projects?
I have tons of them. And the thing is, people always come up to I've got a great idea for it. And let me just say to everyone listening, don't.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, the hardest thing for a writer is keeping ideas away and concentrating on the one you've got to do now. So I've got tons. I've got a couple more series and movies and stage plays and a book of children's poems and endless projects.
That's so exciting. Very cool. I know they've developed your novel into a television series. Mm-hmm. Did you have help writing the series, or was it something where you just assisted, or they just basically take your book and transition it into an actual series?
I consulted a bit on the first one. They send me the rough cuts, and I talk to them about what I thought. After that, I try to visit the set every year, although I missed 3 years now. I've been on the road for almost nonstop. It's murderous.
I would imagine six books, and I'm sure you travel all over the world signing books and doing readings and all the things you do, so I'd imagine your schedule is very, very hectic.
It's horrible, and you can't even get sympathy for it. Even other writers, I say, oh no, I've got to go to France. And they're like, oh, you poor bastard. Oh, France. Oh, how horrible.
Like, you get to go on vacation and sign books for 2 months, and I got to stay here and write? Come on.
But it's nothing like a vacation. It's an 18-hour day. And even my wife didn't believe me until I took her to Australia last year. And after 3 days, she was in tears. She said, how do you do this? I just want to lie down.
Is that when you go, it's my vacation away from you?
No, because she's a wonderful pistol shot. So
she'd have to, I'd imagine, to put up with all the travel and all the different things you work on. So if you have any words of wisdom to any budding authors, anybody's thinking about writing a series?
Yeah, people think I'm kidding, but I always say learn arc welding. And it's true advice. It doesn't have to be arc welding, but the point is get some skill where you can make enough money in 20 hours to pay the bills and set your own time and still concentrate on writing. As a writer, you find a certain time and place that works best for you. For me, I get up at 3 every morning because that's when it works best.
Okay.
So if I had to have a job, it would be a job that I could still get up at 3 to write. So
as you're actually writing, how often do you spend in one day on writing a book?
The days are long and filled with pain. But it's mostly not writing. It's like 2.5 hours in the morning. And, then I got to get the kids up and off to school, and I go to the gym, and I come home and usually take a nap, and another couple of hours in the afternoon. But a lot of that is taken up with just not nonsense, but stuff like I wrote a blog for the Huffington Post. I wrote something for a paper in New Zealand. What are the 5 books that influenced you? I mean, there's little things, and interviews. And the books come out in different times all around the world. So even though it isn't out for 6 months yet here, it'll be out in the UK. So I do a series of phone interviews. So there's a lot of stuff that goes with it. It's not just the writing.
I would imagine so. You have to have probably a full-time press corps or several agents that follow you around and help you with all your different interviews and things like that.
Yeah, and if it gets too bad, I let my 7-year-old answer the phone.
That makes life entertaining, I bet.
It does.
Well, Jeff, I'd like to thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it. And again, you're listening to Eric Remmel with LifeImprovementRadio.com.
Thank you for listening to Life Improvement Radio. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own and shall not be construed in any way as advice from Life Improvement Radio. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our website. Personal perspectives expressed by the producers, writers, or editors will always be presented as such. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the expressed written consent of Life Improvement Radio is strictly prohibited. Thanks for listening.